What is up, YouTube fam? Welcome back to The Organized Millennial. I am Anna, and today I am back with another memory plan with me. Today I'm going to be planning using this fun and festive kit called Traditions from Wild Summer Designs. It's probably the most traditional Christmas kit you'll see for the holiday season with your typical reds and greens. But I'm excited to get into it and get into my holiday spreads finally. I am planning for the week of December 7th through the 13th, so I did skip a couple weeks. So we're going to be a little bit out of order here, but don't worry. All the spreads will show up, so hopefully you guys don't mind. But this video is so exciting because it is a collab with the one and only Viv from Viv Loves to Plan. You guys, like, what is even my life right now? Like, I started following Viv on, of course, not for her videos first, and then I started following her on Instagram at some point this year. I don't remember when. And some random day, I think I reacted to something that one of her stories, and she followed me back, and I was like, word, this is great. And then, another random day, she had posted a story that she was binge watching like my videos, and I was like, oh, what? Your girl's doing something right in this life. Like, it was such a good moment and such a validating moment when you go out on a limb and do something for yourself that's new, and you're like, all the insecurities of, I don't know if I'm gonna be good at this, I don't know if I should be doing this, I don't know if this works. And it was just so validating to see that she was enjoying the content, and like, it's Viv, like Viv Wiggle Viv, like Planner Mama Viv. Y'all know. If you don't know, I'll have all of her stuff, social media and YouTube linked down below. I know that this collab that she's doing is her second to last video on YouTube, and she will be so missed here on YouTube, but she will still be over on Instagram posting all sorts of planner goodness and other stuff, I'm sure. So thankfully, we'll still have some Viv that way, but she will be definitely missed here on YouTube. So Viv, thank you so much for collabing with me, but not even just for collabing with me and being amazing, but also for helping me feel connected to the planner community. I've made probably a handful of connections in the planner community, but I feel like they have been very genuine, and that makes me feel fantastic. So thank you so much. And now on to the video. So for this video, we are going to be talking about our Christmas traditions. As if there's not enough to love about Viv, we share the fact that we're both Latinas. I am Dominican and she is Puerto Rican, Boricua. And I thought it would be fun to chat about our Christmas traditions, since they are a little bit different than kind of American traditions, I would say. So at least for me it is. I can't wait to see her video and see what traditions she shares, but that is what we are going to be talking about for this video. So if you guys have any questions on any of the stickers that I use, just put them down below in the comments and I'm happy to answer that for you. But let's get into the goods. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about Christmas Eve and Christmas, y'all. Let's break it down. So I know typically, American celebration happens on Christmas Day. You wake up, you open gifts, maybe you go to church, whatever your traditions are. Let me tell you something about Dominicans. We don't do a thing on Christmas Day. We're usually recovering from Christmas Eve, and Christmas Eve is usually referred to as Noche Buena. So on Christmas Eve is when the family gathers. It's when we have the big dinner. It's when some families open presents, like later on Christmas Eve. For my family in particular, like we had, the big family gathering Christmas Eve, and then we would open gifts Christmas Day. But that's all we would do on Christmas Day. Otherwise, we're eating leftovers and like watching TV. That's the extent of Christmas Day for us. So the real celebration for us happens Christmas Eve, which I know is a big difference. And I've gotten so used to that. I know there are some people that might go to Mass. I knew someone who went to church, I think at 12 a.m., Christmas Day. So they'd basically be up, not all night, but up late Christmas Eve, and then go to Mass 12 a.m. Christmas Day. So I knew, and I think there's a name for it, but I don't know what it's called, but there is a name for it. So I know that is something that's typical. Some families will go Christmas Day. I know for Dominicans, at least, for the most part, we're pretty religious, pretty based in the Catholic faith. So like probably I would say the majority of Dominicans are based in that faith. Not everyone, can't speak for everyone, but I would say the majority are. So much so that there is, like, if I'm going to put a picture of the Dominican flag in, if I can find one so you guys can see, but the flag actually has a Bible on it, like we're really about that life. So so usually Mass is involved in there somewhere. Again, can't speak for everyone, but for most Dominicans, I think that's the case. So that's typically how our festivities go. And of course, we also have Dia de los Reyes, which is Three Kings Day, and that's on January 6th. My family in particular didn't really do too much for it. I think that's one of the traditions that probably got lost along the way, where we kind of meld some of the American traditions and some of the Dominican traditions. We don't really do much that day, but I do think a good amount of Latinos who celebrate Three Kings Day probably will like leave their Christmas tree up until like Three Kings Day. So, or we'll do gifts on Three Kings Day. So it really just depends. It varies, with family and with country of origin and all that stuff. So it does vary, but just so you guys have an idea, Noche Buena is when we are partying hardy. Christmas Day, we might open some gifts, we might go to church, or we might do nothing at all and just sleep off a hangover. And then Three Kings Day, which is January 6th, sometimes, depending on the family, they might also do gifts. I know in DR, I think gifts happen, in the Dominican Republic, I think gifts happen on the 6th and not on the 25th, but I'm not entirely sure. So if there's any like Dominicans living in DR or knowing how they do it, let me know. But yes, so those are really the two dates for us that are the biggest. So Christmas Day is actually not that big for us. It's a very quiet day for us. So I would say that's probably the biggest difference in tradition. But then moving on to what we eat on Christmas Day. Oh, y'all. So I hear, some of the American traditions I hear is usually like Christmas ham, or probably like potatoes, green bean casseroles. I don't know if I'm getting into Thanksgiving or Christmas, but those are the things that I hear. So here's what we eat. So we usually have arroz con gandule, which is rice and pigeon peas. It's delicious. It's probably my favorite rice. I don't know if you guys follow Chef Z here on YouTube. She's a Dominican Cuban chef pretty much that shares recipes, and she has a recipe for arroz con gandule, and she's like, this is the lit rice. Like if there's a baby shower, a baptism, a party, a birthday, whatever, this is the rice that shows up, and that is 100% the truth. So we usually have that rice. We usually have pernil, which is pork shoulder, I think it's pork shoulder. It's pork. I just don't know what part of it is. And then pasteles en hoja are usually a really big thing, which, how do I describe them? I think they're kind of like tamales, where like the dough part of it is made of like root vegetables, and then it's filled with meat, and it's so good. Patelitos or empanadas are also really popular for us. Those are like beef patties, similar to beef patties. You guys have probably seen those. And let's see, what else do we have? I think those are the main ones. We might have salad to make ourselves feel good. But to be honest, like, not a whole lot of us are hitting up the salad bar. Let's be for real. I think that's it for like the main food dishes that make appearances, specifically for Dominican feasts, Christmas feasts. But my boyfriend is Puerto Rican, so I've spent a lot of time with his family and their traditions for the holidays. So some of the things that come up for them that don't always come up for us is flan. So flan is like a custard. It's a sweet custard type of dessert, very popular, very delicious. Flan will come up. Coquito will come up, which is like a Puerto Rican kind of eggnog drink that's delicious. What else comes up for him? I think that's it. At least that differs between what I mentioned. So like the food is bomb, you guys. I love what we eat, but it's very different. Like if I explain this to my coworkers, they're just like, oh, because it's definitely not what they eat. But it is so good. It's so, so good. So the food is probably my favorite part of any gathering, any family gathering, holiday or not. Like the food is going to be bomb. We have the best food, like hands down. So that's pretty much that pretty much covers like food wise. Usually it involves, of course, family, it involves food, it involves music. I also feel like our music is the best, but clearly I am super biased. So there'll usually be some Mark Anthony blaring. There'll be some Juan Luis Guerra blaring. There'll be some, gosh, what else? Some bachata blaring. I mean, any type of music, any type of Dominican music you can think of will be blaring for probably the most common genres that are like Dominican known are merengue and bachata. They're two type of musical genres basically that you hear the most in the Dominican Republic. So those are usually blaring. And then I would say for like with my boyfriend's side of the family, it's usually they love bachata too, and merengue, but there's also salsa, of course, blaring. And blaring is subjective, you know, like it depends on where we're at. If there's some space, then it could be like very much blaring. But here I try to keep it like low key because I am in a condo complex and like you can basically hear everything. So I'm like, y'all, like I ain't trying to get kicked out today, you know? So, so that's pretty much like our Christmas traditions. We do a Christmas tree. As far as decorations go, we have a Christmas tree up. I grew up with having a nativity scene always present. So there'd be the Christmas tree and the nativity scene would be under it or next to it or around somewhere. That was always part of our decorations because, again, the Catholic influences are always, I think, present in our traditions. But yeah, that's pretty much, I think, sums up most of our Christmas traditions. I'm trying to think of like particular Spanish Christmas songs, and I think Viv is going to refer to one in her video, so I'm not going to steal her thunder because I'm really looking forward to that. But I mean, there's Feliz Navidad, which everyone has heard. Honestly, it usually is never playing in my house because we've heard it a million times. It's kind of like, oh, let's get into it, you guys. There's like a handful of Spanish songs that are played even in non-Latino events that are very popular, which we get. Let me speak for myself, which I get, but I'm like tired of hearing. So I'll give you some examples. I'm tired of hearing Despacito. I love the song. Like, Yankee is the man. Luis Fonsi, also the man. But I'm tired of hearing the song. Like, y'all played it out too damn much for my life. Okay, Despacito, like, done. The other one you may or may not know is Suavemente by Elvis Crespo. Like, I can't hear it again, you guys. Like, I can't hear it again. And I feel like Feliz Navidad is one of those two where I'm like, nope, like, no. But again, maybe that's just me and y'all are still down to hear those songs. And if that's the case, like, power to you. Like, I got no problem with that. But anyways, you guys, those are my Dominican Christmas traditions. Let me know, you guys, about your Christmas traditions down below in the comments. Anything that's different than the norm, I'd love to hear. Cultural differences, just your own family traditions, whatever have you, I'd love to hear. I love hearing about new traditions. I just love the diversity in that, and I love to learn about other cultures. So please let me know down below in the comments what your Christmas traditions are. And I shared, you know, what my family does as a Dominican family and our traditions, but like I mentioned, not every Dominican will celebrate it the very same way. There's still varying degrees in between families, so please don't come for me in the comments if you happen to be Dominican and don't do any of the things that I mentioned. Although I might be a little bit concerned if you don't do any of the things that I mentioned. But you guys get the point. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up before you go, and make sure you subscribe for more budgeting and planning content. Thank you so much, Viv, for collabing with me, and I will see you guys in my next one.